Hey, everybody. You can help us make Chris DeMakes a podcast even better by telling us a little bit about yourself. Go to surveymonkey.com/r/JDZ3HL7 for a quick listener survey. It only takes a couple minutes and it helps support our team. To show our appreciation, we're giving away 2 $50 gift cards to lucky participants every single month. Go ahead and grab a pen, surveymonkey.com/r/JDZ3HL7 now for your chance to win.
Hey everybody, today's guest is Ken Block, guitarist and lead vocalist for the Gainesville, Florida rock band, Sister Hazel. Together we take a deep dive into the writing, recording, and inspiration behind the hit single, Change Your Mind, taken from their third album, Fortress, released in June of 2000. Man, I could talk to Ken Block all day. He's truly one of the nicest guys in rock and roll. And I'm not just saying that because both our bands are from Gainesville. He was last here on Chris DeMakes a Podcast about 5 years ago to dissect their massive breakout hit, All For You. Ken discussed the challenges and pressure of coming up with another hit, how a chance opportunity regarding Change Your Mind imploded as it was about to happen, and how so much of this business of writing hit songs boils down to one thing: plain luck. The message of this lyric is powerful, the vocal harmonies are killer, and the whole band is playing what is best for the song. The track was mixed by mixing wizard Tom Lord Alge, and 26 years later, it rips. To quote Ken, timeless. So for all this and more, stick around.
Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a Podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a Podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a Podcast. Hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a Podcast.
Ken, you're back in the hot seat. It only took us about 5 years. You were last here. You were last here on June 28th, 2021 to discuss All For You, and you're back.
That's crazy, man. The days are awfully long, but the years fly by. Don't they? Right?
It's unreal, especially as I know you have children. My kids, sometimes the days are the longest thing in the world. You know how they just,
All of a sudden you blink and a year's gone by.
I blinked and 9 years went, but my son's going to be 10 this year.
Can you believe that, man? We're not kids anymore.
We're not. In fact, before we started rolling, you brought up something that I've thought about before. You're like, rock and roll started in the early 50s, you know, and then, by the time we came along, it had only been this old, and now we're that old as a band, 35 years.
We're that, right. Like we're a third of the whole rock and roll era we've been a part of. It's bizarre. My kids are all college age now. And
I know.
In fact, 2 of them are older than a couple, like when Jet and Ryan joined the band, they were younger than my kids are now. And it's like, what? How is that possible? We were in vans riding around, hoping to sell a t-shirt and get a hotel room. It's just a whole mind-blowing thing. Time is weird, man.
It is. Well, especially because we know what we were doing in that van. We know the sketchy areas we were in, and now we're
Absolutely. My kids are so much better than me. I mean, they just are. I'm super grateful for that. The one thing I'm not grateful for is that I've got 3 kids and a wife of 30 years, and I'm the dumbest guy in my house. Like, it's not even close. It's like, I'm definitely like the dumbest. Like, they look at me like like they pity me sometimes. I'm like, come on.
Well, man, there's so much I want to talk to you about with this song.
Yeah.
Change Your Mind's the song we're going to talk about today. It's the first track out of 14 on Sister Hazel's third studio album, Fortress, that was released June 27th, 2000 on Universal. I remember hearing this song, and I was like, oh, they did it again. I was convinced this was going to be a bigger hit than All For You. I've always loved this song. It's been one of my favorites from your band. I love the lyric. I love what the chorus says.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of what the song's about, but this lyric is general enough.
Yes.
It's super simple, but it's to the point, and it's great. I've always said some of my favorite lyrics are simple.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to be Dylan-esque or Lou Reed to make me appreciate it.
No, I agree. I think that sometimes, like, look, I am the kind of writer that doesn't want to say, I love you. I want to find a new way of saying that, right? But I also don't want to lose you. I want to write ambiguously enough where you can connect and plug your story in. It doesn't have to be my story. You have to hear and go, oh, I'm in this song somewhere. And that's definitely happened with this one for sure.
Now, the first time I heard it, and I love this band. And, you know, it's funny. You know, Roger is an American-born Brazilian guy.
Yeah.
He's from Miami. He's our bass player.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's the guy, when I first met him, like, we would, like, geek out on Tom Petty and, like, Allman Brothers. And, like,
Totally.
We're from Florida. You grew up. It was on the FM dial. And I remember the
Part
first
of
time.
our DNA.
Part of the DNA, right? And I remember hearing this song for the first time, like, oh my gosh, did you ever think this? Just the beginning of the chorus, only for a second. The Crosby, Stills, Nash song, Southern Cross.
Could be. I hadn't thought about that before, but I will tell you this. That song is part of my musical DNA, along with like Helplessly Hoping and some of that stuff where, you know, so much stuff comes in that eventually it's going to come out in different ways. And I learned harmonies from Simon and Garfunkel, from Crosby, Stills.
Uh-huh.
And the way they did that. So I can say that intentionally, no. Unintentionally, absolutely could have been.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those things like, oh, it's a ripoff, but I noticed it.
Yeah.
It's the part where they go, I've been around
Oh, yeah,
the world.
if you wanna be, yeah.
If you want to be somebody else.
I never thought of that, but you're absolutely right.
I have been around the world, looking for that woman.
What a great hook. And you guys built your career around those harmonies I'm talking about.
Yeah.
About those
Yeah.
that Southern rock, almost a country feel.
But you know, it's funny, man, because I grew up, my parents were listening to Simon and Garfunkel's, Crosby, Stills, Nash, John Denver, James Taylor. And I learned a lot of that singer-songwriter harmony. My dad had 2 degrees in music, was a piano player, phenomenal. But then by the time I got into middle school and high school and into bands, you had to be playing Van Halen and Ozzy and Judas Priest.
Yeah.
So I really got into that too. So I had like both sides. But like you said a minute ago, I grew up in Florida, man. I grew up in Gainesville, where Petty, Skinner, the Allman Brothers is part of our DNA. And so when I started Sister Hazel, I thought, man, how can I take the lyricism of those singer-songwriters, the harmonies, put it with that Southern sort of slide feel and the power and energy of a harder rock band. So it was intentional. Like, I don't want to not have these things. I love all of these elements.
Yeah.
I want to have that work, and that's kind of been our fingerprint. And getting Ryan in the band was a big help with his guitar work, because he's so diverse in what he can kind of play. And Drew,
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's an awesome guitar player. And Drew and I just sing together naturally, easily. Timbres of our voice work well together. And then, you know, Jet, super creative. Mark, you know, it's tough sometimes finding drummers that aren't pain in the ass. He's his own pain in the ass. What a professional! And
we're gonna talk about his drumming on this track, because he does does some really, really cool stuff, and I feel like he's someone in your band that probably doesn't get talked about as much as the others.
Yeah.
And what he did here was great. I gotta talk about the producers of the record. I'm not familiar with Ralph Saul, but he's produced tracks from Paul McCartney, the Ramones, Stone Temple Pilots, Jewel, Sugar Ray. I could go on. Funny fact about Ralph Saul, I don't know if you know this, Ken. He won the 1994 Razzle Award for the worst original song for the song Addams Family Whoomp from the movie Addams Family Values.
And think, wait, can't forget Cousin It. Tag team rips another party hit. It's the Addams Family movie thing. Gomez Morticia, come on, sing. Addams Family.
Well, we met Ralph because he had gotten a demo of our song Your Winter. And he became the music director for 10 Things I Hate About You. And so he brought us in to do that song for that soundtrack. And we met him, we liked him. We ended up using about 4 different producers on that record because we were all like, man, I don't know if you'll get this or not, but we had made like our little white record at Mirror Image.
Yep.
And we went to Memphis and we recorded Some Are More Familiar in like 12 days or whatever on our dime. And then when we got signed on that, they just kind of remixed All For You and put it out. And we were like, but we're going up against like, Matchbox 20 Records and Sun Temple Pilot Records and all these. And we're like, we want to compete. So by the time we got to Fortress, it was like, we're going to make a real record, right? But there's so much going on. You go from playing Cover Dish, Rickenbacker's festivals to playing these festivals and being on the radio and all that. There was a lot of pressure coming off of that first big record.
Well, I was going to ask that. There had to be, because I know how you made those records. And,
yeah.
A lot of times you get it in your head like, oh, we're here now. Now we got to go to here. And you keep, as you know, you can keep chasing that carrot.
Yeah. You're always, you never think anything's ever going to end. But you're always like, you've got to one up it. So we were in LA for about 6 months. We worked with Mike Klink also, who was Guns N' Roses producer. And Mike is great, but my love of Mike is that he's a great guy. He gets great sounds, but he's not like a music guy. So like if we would hit a wall, he wouldn't say, well, why don't you try this or whatever.
Right.
So he brought in guys.
Was Richie Zito one of them?
Zito was the one that he brought in. And Zito's a song guy.
Well, and here's the thing. What's interesting, I was telling Chris, a producer, before we started rolling, that he's one of my favorite producers. I was really surprised.
He's awesome.
I was really surprised to see his name here. Richie was more of an 80s guy. He did Tony Basil's.
80s guy, Elton John, played guitar with Elton John.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a New York, hey, yeah, I want to feel it, give it, and he would tell you what he thought, right? And we brought Zito in as kind of like, we need a left turn here, and we've gone through our bag of tricks. And Richie would come in and kind of sit and go song-wise through it, but he liked this song a lot.
And I can tell he's a song guy from the records he produced, those Cheap Trick Eddie Money records.
Yeah, he did The Flame, I think. And
those records are tight and they're awesome, and they're great produced songs.
They're very listenable. He's a little slicker than I like to be, but it's that push and pull. He's a song guy, and I respect that.
I thought that was interesting, though, that he was a choice for producer here, because this record was made in 2000. I remember getting a list of producers for records, be like, oh, that's an 80s guy. We're not using him. Were you afraid at all?
That's right. Well, it was Klink that just went. We were staying out there, and he came over to where I was staying, and he was like, man, what am I missing? And I'm like, man, you're so good at this and this, but when we either clash as a band on which direction we're going to take or run out of ideas, we need a song guy. We need a guy that can pick up a guitar or a keyboard or something and go, let's do this. And he brought in Richie Zito. And Zito was a great character and a great guy to kind of have his energy in the room.
That's awesome. Well, Change Your Mind peaked at number 59 on the Hot 100 and number 5 on the U.S. Adult 40. It was also featured in the 2000 remake of Bedazzled, starring Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley.
I think one of the reasons that song didn't do better, like you were just saying, like it did go to top 5 on the Hot AC chart, is that we were supposed to go to London and shoot a video with Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser, right? How awesome is that, right? 3 days before and as you know, they release a record so many weeks out from either the movie or the album coming out. So radio had already been working it for 5-6 weeks or whatever. And so we're supposed to go, we're all excited, like Elizabeth Hurley, right? And Brendan Fraser. And they call us up 3 days before we're supposed to go, and they go, hey, we played the movie for a test audience, and it did so poorly that we have to re-edit the entire thing, and it's going to take us 2 months. And we're like, no. And so by that time, the radio, like they couldn't slow down what they were doing on radio. They didn't have a video to match it up with. And we're like, well, there wasn't the video budget we had. All that. And so we didn't get to do it. It's one of those missed it by that much kind of things. But it is the end title track to that movie Bedazzled. Yeah.
Isn't that, how many times, that's happened a lot in my career.
There's a handful of those where you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
One of them was my fault completely, and one of them, and the rest of them were just bad timing and bad things. My worst mistake of that was we were just coming off All For You. We had done a cover of the Bellamy Brothers' Let Your Love Flow.
Oh, yeah.
We recorded it at Willie Nelson's house in Texas, and it was for a movie called Clay Pigeons. Now, Clay Pigeons was a weird, dark comedy, but it had Janine Garofalo, Joaquin Phoenix was in it, Vince Vaughn was in it, and David Dobkin was the producer, who went on to do like Wedding Crashers and all this stuff. So he calls up, he wants to talk to me, and at this point I'm like, I really wanted to be known as a rock band, certainly not as a country band at that time, and definitely not as a cover band. And he's like, look, man, come do this video and we'll put it out as a single through Hollywood Records or whatever. And Janine will be in the video, Vince Vaughn will be in the video, Joaquin will be in it. And I was like, well, I was Mr. Artistic. I don't know, coming after All For You. I don't want to do it. And we were on the phone for like an hour, and I finally said no. And now I'm like, I would beg to have had a moment where we took this old redneck cover song, did it, and have those guys do the video. But I was being we're too artsy for that. And there's been a couple of those. But that one was on me.
Yeah, buddy. I feel you. I want to tell you, before we get in the song, one last thing. I did go check this because I remember when I looked at live videos, and I'll do this.
Yeah.
I noticed that you played All For You in a different key sometimes. And I remember asking you why, and you had a couple different reasons. Well, change your mind. At least the couple videos I saw, you play it in the same key.
Same key. All For You was a little weird because that day in the studio, we kept moving it around. Like we'd capo it up a whole step. We ended up, it was like a half step up. And we play it a whole step up now, which is weird, especially with my crazy voice stuff.
I know.
I can actually sing higher. Like, do you know where you are? I can still do all that stuff. I just can't sing in the middle. But if we actually play that up, but change your mind. We've kept the same.
We're going to jump under the hood right now. It's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The intro is 8 bars of a drum loop with a cool palm muted delayed guitar hook. Halfway through, the bass guitar comes in. And on bar 7, we get an acoustic drum fill as the drums join the rest of the band. On bar 8 through 16, we're joined by a distorted stereo guitars, acoustic guitar, B3 organ, and a lead guitar playing a cool layered riff. And the vocals at the top, your harmonies are stacked center and kind of left and right, and we get a ooh, ooh, yeah, and we get a ooh, ooh, yeah that follows that. All the harmonies are in place.
Did you ever think there might be another way to just feel better about today? Oh no, if you never want to have to turn and go away, you might feel better if you stay.
Hey, did you ever think there might be another way to just feel better about today? Oh no. If you never want to have to turn and go away, you might feel better if you stay. You know, those betters in this verse, probably unknowingly to you, they're a hook. And you got this southern, I wouldn't say you have a southern accent, but you do, that Floridian North Florida accent. I couldn't fake that and get away with it. It'd be phony. But that's you, man.
I feel better. You know what's funny is two things that are popping in my head as you're talking about all this. Like I said, I really had been singing hard. I've been singing harder live again, like trying to get back to my rock stuff. But do you remember a guy named Sean Mullins?
Oh, yeah.
He's a singer out of Atlanta, and he had a song. She grew up with the children of the stars in the Hollywood Hills and the Boulevard. And I kept thinking, he has my attention without screaming at me. And when I did this track, I thought, I'm going to try to really keep the verses like I'm having a conversation, very conversational. Hey, did you ever think there might be another way? Just feel better, better out today. And kind of had Sean in my head. And then I said, that way, when we get to the chorus, it explodes.
Yeah.
And you start to hear those stacked harmonies and all that stuff. I was very cognizant of how do I want this to feel? I want to be approachable, conversational. And I think it's important to say this as we're talking about this, is that I've always sort of struggled with overthinking, anxiety, some depressive times. I think mental health is health. And I have always had a really hard time where I can get something cognitively, but I can't feel it. Like I can't embody it, right? And so I believe wholeheartedly that and I say this at shows, that what we think about matters, right? It's not your life, it's how you choose to look at your life. It's all perspective. And yes, there are deep mental health issues, but sometimes it's just a matter of shifting your perspective a little bit. I don't know, as you've traveled, I've met the richest people that have everything in the world who are miserable.
Yes.
And I've met the most poverty-stricken kids that are so full of joy and whatever. And it is all about perspective. And so this song was like a mantra to me, who was coming off of somewhere more familiar, like really stressed. Like, how do you follow up something like All For You? It was so big and number one and a platinum record. And it's like, and you know what else you got?
You also know, going back then, Ken, that you and Sister Hazel had about this much to do with what happened to that song.
Absolutely.
You know?
Write it and put it out there. Right. I knew it resonated with people, right? Like I knew if we got in front of people, but I can't do that. We can't do that. All we can do is get in front of people at a club or a party or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the machine that does that, right? And so I will say this. I've been writing and writing and writing, and I had Champagne High, which I knew was a pretty good song.
That's great.
But I didn't know if it had that thing, and they wanted that up-tempo. But when I wrote Change Your Mind, it was deep into the process of that record. And I remember calling her going, I might have like a motor for this boat. Like I might have one we can do. But I did the same thing I did with All For You. Is like I sat in my room with All For You. It was with boom boxes. Like I'd sing into one, leave gaps, and then play that tape to another one. Sing over that. I had a little 8-track Tascam or something, and was building those harmonies. And I thought, wow, this really lifts, and it feels like us, and it's got good energy. It's positive, but it's dealing with something kind of serious. So it was. I was relieved. I was so relieved when I did that. But it was all about what I was going through at the time, which was why. I mean, you're coming off this big run. You got your deal. You sold records. People are following the band. Why are you so stressed out, man? Why are you so miserable here and here? And it was all about perspective, man. It was all about that.
Yeah, I've often said, I've talked to guys, I talked to, had him on the show, Mark from Blink-182, and he said if he could go back in time, he would try to slow everything down a little bit because, you know, at the time it was just your phone was blown up. It was managers. It was a record label. It was this whole thing. And if you were to go back, how could you enjoy it, though? We're human beings. You were a 25-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. We were drinking like fish and we were partying. It was like, you know, we grew up watching what rock stardom meant, like, right? So we were, and us, like, our community of bands in North Florida at that time, it was like you didn't say no to any gig. Like you played everywhere you could,
Everywhere.
as much as you can. So by the time you get signed, you're like, we'll do anything, man. Just we'll play. We'll do that morning show. We'll do that festival. We'll do that gig. We'll do whatever. And so we didn't know how to say no to anything. Everything was the end of the world, man. Set list. Like you get fights over set lists, and it's like, now, like we've rotated around, everyone does set. Like we know there's certain songs we got to play, but it's like, but it used to be like, no, this one song has to come here. How can you even think? God, it was every show was the end of the world, man.
I call it. I'm learning to pick my battles, Ken.
Exactly, man. You play it smarter, not harder. Pick your battles. Check your ego at the door, and we learned those lessons. Luckily, before like a lot of bands, they implode or explode, right?
Oh yeah.
But we started to learn those lessons. But man, if you come off that first success that you have, you're like, I want more of this. I know we can do it. But there's pressure from the label, pressure from your fans,
pressure from yourself,
huge pressure for yourself.
A lot of undue stress. Well, verse 1, we got some cool stuff. That loop is still going with the drums, but the drums are playing a more percussive role here. It's not really a drum beat. It's doing some percussive stuff
like
here.
A loop.
Yeah, like a loop here along with that acoustic guitar. I love that it's a singular vocal here. We don't get any harmonies. We're going to save those in this song. On the last couple of lines here in the verse, oh no, if you never want to have to turn and go away, the bass guitar comes in and another guitar panned off right is playing sporadic notes and percussive little chugs before we drop in to pre-chorus 1.
Bet you haven't heard a word I've said. Yeah. You've had enough of all your trying. Just give up the state of mind you're in. If you wanna be
Now we get some harmonies here on yeah. And then I bet you haven't heard a word I've said. Another yeah. You've had enough of all your trying. Just give up the state of mind you're in. I like these harmonies here because they're very subtle. They hint about what's to come, but it doesn't overtake anything. And you mentioned the demo earlier, Ken. I want to ask you, do you recall if all 4 minutes and 20 seconds was there at that point of this song? Was it
all 4 minutes and 20 seconds at least were there, but I did what I learned to do by the third record, which was take it to the band and go, y'all get your fingerprints on this. Like, here's the skeleton, here's the harmonies, here's the groove. I do kind of want it to be conversational here. I want to explode. But like I was like, Ryan, you got to come up with, I need a hook right there, right? I need that delay guitar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Jet. We're going to let the bass bring it all in. That do-do-do-do-do, boo-do-do. Then the flams, the big plap, plap, and then the drum fill. It was all about everybody getting their fingers in it. I learned that after being kind of really protective of every song I wrote, is that we got a lot further, and it takes a while to trust everybody, right? Everybody gets to go, hey man, that little bit there, that was my idea, or that's my fingerprint, and everybody starts to feel ownership. So I always come with skeleton, and whoever's the songwriter in our band, you get final say. Like you're the deferred treatment guy, but all of those, it was basically an acoustic demo, me playing guitar, doubling that up, and layering those harmonies, and then I said, let's turn it into a Hazel song.
Well, that's what I love about this song, too. I've always said, there's some bands, I don't know if you're familiar with Ice Nine Kills, but I've had them on the show. That's not a band that you're going to hear. I always use the example of like a TGI Fridays on a Tuesday locals night. Like you can't get up and play those songs on acoustic, but the heartbeat of this song and a lot of your songs is you can sit in the corner, singer-songwriter, and play it.
Right. Because especially early on, that's how I wrote them.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote all of them like by myself, where I'd have to be able to play and sing them all the way through. And I'd have ideas for building harmonies or different things like that. And then I had that idea I talked to you about earlier, building the band with the energy and the slides and all the different and the harmonies. But I had to be able to sell it to you, like myself sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
Then let the band take ownership. Now we do things sometimes like that still, but sometimes I'm like, here's the song, y'all can turn it on its head. We will change the groove, the key, vibe, make it all kinds of different things. But for the first few records, it was, I have to be able to sing it and sell it first.
I've always said if I don't believe what I'm hearing, then I'm gonna turn the channel. Lots of cool stuff going on here. Those yeahs, we talked about the harmonies on there. Coming out of that verse, we get a nice floor tom, deep floor tom hit with the bass, and that brings us into this pre-chorus. The drums are playing with the loop. The stereo guitars are now playing a nice arpeggio style picking, and maybe the B3 is really buried here, or some delayed synth bed pushed way back. I know we get synths later.
Yeah, B3 there.
It's B3 there. Okay, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And on the last two lines, let me also mention that acoustic guitar is in here. And on the last two lines, you've had enough of all your trying, just give up the state of mind you're in. The drums break down to kick and hi-hat. The stereo guitars go to that palm-muted, playful guitar lick reminiscent of the top of the song. And in between those two lines, Ken, we get this rake of a guitar. It's a clean, bright, crisp...
Ring. Yep.
It's beautiful. And
Thanks,
I love little nuggets like that. Let's talk about that little piece there. Do you remember that happening?
Yes, and this is a very interesting element because I think it really did help the song. We were big fans of Tom Lord Alge at the time, and he agreed to mix the song. So Ryan and I went down to South Beach or wherever the studio is down there, and I told him a couple things that were important to us. And there were certain things, like things that you're calling out, that he threw us out at first. He goes, y'all go get a beer, go down, look at the girls on the beach, come back, and he goes, these things pop out to me. And I went, yeah. And he had such a good ear for what you're talking about. Like, hey, that might have been a throwaway rake, but it's not. You know,
No.
It was kind of to fill space when we did it. He heard that and went, no, man, that's a thumbprint. And he did a great job of coming through that song, giving it energy, having the harmonies sit on top, having the guitars have big punch once the choruses hit. But he found a lot of these little things that you're talking about on his own.
I love that rake. I love what it does there. It's so simple. And we're going to talk about that rake later because it's different the second time, which kind of trips me out. But coming out of this, we get into the chorus.
If you wanna be somebody else, if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself, if you wanna be somebody else, change your mind. Change your mind.
If you want to be somebody else, if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself, if you want to be somebody else, change your mind. Change your mind. We talked about that simple lyric, man, but oh my gosh, it's perfect.
I've been in recovery for a while, and my sponsor, he's always like, hey man, if you're not the problem, there is no solution. Right. And so it's like, I can't control you. We can talk. I can't control anything else, but I can control the way I start to look at things and which dog I'm feeding in my head, right? Like the asshole, barky, negative guy, or the one that wants to come up and put his head in your lap. You know what I mean? And so when I wrote this song, I needed to hear that message as much as anything else. And it was about like, I will hold on to character defects, parts of my personality that at one time served me, that no longer serve me. Like I will, because you're scared to let them go, man. Claw marks, right? But it's just give up the state of mind you're in. It's just, hey, man, let go. And it's not easy, simple, but not easy to do.
Oh yeah, and that lyric. I mean, you could be male, female, going through a divorce, losing a spouse. You could lose a parent, and it resonates. I know you've gotten letters. I know people tell you all the time what this song means.
As soon as that song came out, we started getting letters and emails. Emails were just happening. People would say something as simple as I was having a shitty day, and I put that song in and it just got my head right. To I lost 75 pounds by listening to this song and going on. It would lead off my playlist every day where I would go to exercise. Or they'd go, I got out of an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Or I started this business that I've always wanted to try, but I was never brave enough to take that risk. And I wasn't even thinking about all that. I was just thinking about trying to throw that switch in my own head and how could that help other people. But I didn't really realize all the ripples. And people to this day come up and go, that song saved my life, for that song. And it's like, wow, it's not a Dylan song. It's just it's an accessible, I kept it simple on purpose. Like I tried very hard to not get too poetic. I did try to make things like the line where it says, I bet you haven't heard a word I said. It's like almost like, hey,
Yeah.
talking to you.
I'm over here.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right here. And you need to rethink some things. But it's all gently kind of done with all that. But I am a believer still that mental health is a big issue for a lot of people, and that our thoughts are very, very powerful. And it's as simple as like, you never know where the quotes come from anymore online because they attribute them to everybody. But I think it was, Lincoln is who I think it was. People are about as happy as they make their mind up to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like whether you're gonna succeed at that or fail at that is based on whether or not you think you're going to fail at that or you're going to succeed at that. And I believe that stuff. I think our state of mind has a ton to do with our entire experience. Not saying it's easy.
How many times have we heard think positive? Well, it's not as
Right.
easy.
Right. Okay. I'll just do that. Right.
Yeah.
Where will I be when I stop wondering why?
Hey everybody, don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up with Ken Block after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on, or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This NBA playoffs with FanDuel, you're not just watching the playoffs, you're a part of them.
Steve's got the phone, opens FanDuel, and he's going for threes.
Be a part of the action on FanDuel. All customers get a profit boost every NBA playoff game day. 21 plus and present in select states. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET.
Hey friends, have you been loving Chris DeMakes a podcast? Well, spread the love by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't hesitate to share what you enjoy about the show in an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help more people discover us, but we often read reviews in the wrap segment of the show. It's a quick, cost-free way to support us and takes just a minute of your time. Your reviews mean the world to us and help us keep the podcast thriving. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a friend.
Spring turns summer, then winter turn me.
And now back to the show.
Well, chorus one, I want to talk about a few things in here. We get harmonies on wanna be somebody else. The harmonies come in on tired of fighting battles with yourself. The harmonies come in on wanna be somebody else, and we get harmonies on both change your minds.
Those harmonies you were talking about, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, change your mind, and we hold that, and we have notes that move through that, and I loved that. Like, I was like, oh man, that's like the Beach Boys or something. It was like, oh man, that chord can play a little bit and dance a little bit. There's no word. It's the end of a word. It's just a note hanging on. I love the way the harmonies feel right there. They make you feel something.
Oh, they absolutely do. The acoustic guitars in here as well as the B3. And on the last two lines, Ken, on the Change Your Minds, guitar melody comes in behind the big vocal hook here, adding a killer texture. It's not doing anything crazy. It's pushed way back, but it just, it gives that last bit of the chorus some oomph before we settle back into verse 2.
Hey, hey, have you ever danced in the rain or thanked the sun just for shining over the sea? Oh no, take it all in the world to show, and yeah, you look much better when you glow.
Hey, have you ever danced in the rain or thanked the sun just for shining over the sea? Oh no, you take it all in the world's a show. And yeah, you look much better when you glow. Let's talk about that shining over the sea, not over.
Shining over the sea.
It's almost Shakespearean biblical. What's happening there?
Honestly, it's not that deep. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to say over or I wanted to say, like, have gratitude. Thank the sun just for shining over the sea. Like, did I want that image? Or did I want to say, or the sea? Are you grateful just for the ocean? Right? And so I kind of went, if I say it like this, people are going to interpret it however they want, right? And so I kind of blurred the line on that.
Now I get it. Okay, I get what you're doing.
It's either over or have you ever said thank you for the sea? I get recharged by the ocean, being a Florida boy. I get recharged, but we take for granted so many, we just all do. The sun, the air, hot water for our shower. Like, we just take so many things for granted, but it's like, those things meant a lot to me. And when's the last time you thanked the sun? Just for that, right?
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Thank the sun for burning bright. Well,
Exactly.
this verse 2, got drums, bass guitar, acoustic guitar. We got the loop and a guitar with a wah kind of riffing away, panned off to the right like a wah flanger. We get harmonies on Ever Dance in the Sun or Thank the Sun, panned off to the left only. It's very subtle and something very interesting. I don't even know if you know this, Ken, but on Oh No, on the line, You Take It All, the harmonies are left and right, but then it just goes to the left for the rest of it. In the World's a Show. And yeah.
No, take it all in the world's a show. And yeah, you look much better when you glow.
That was a Tom Lord Alge move. I had it all up. I had them all up. And he was like, man, 'cause when you write them again, you're like, I wrote that for a reason. I wanted to be there. He's like, it's going to be much more powerful if we kind of bring that up.
You know how many times I've heard this song, and I'm sitting here yesterday rewinding it over and over going, why does this sound so weird? And then it dawned on me what's happening.
I wish I could take credit for that move, but I was not. I was to put them all up. I want to hear them all.
It's so cool. And then I got to think, I'm like, there's no way this was a mistake. Somebody would have heard it. But sometimes there's like, oh wait, we didn't put a harmony there, and it's fine. It sounds great. But in this case, it was thought about.
Oh, this was thought about, not by me.
Yeah.
Not by us. This was one of those things where that artist took our art. And one of the things I really loved about his work was, first of all, sonically, I loved his EQs and I loved the way he picked parts out, but he would familiarize himself with a song like 2 passes or whatever. He would never burn himself out on the song. Like he wouldn't, like we do, right? We've heard it 10,000 times by the time it gets to that room. He's a fresh ear.
Oh yeah.
And somebody that goes, I'm your listener in the car, right? I'm the guy hearing that. And so I would tell him, like, it's important to me that the harmonies come out here. It's important to me that this vocal stands out. It's important to me that Ryan's guitar hooks are played like the things you're talking about, like that wah guitar in the second verse.
Yeah.
Like he was like, we can't go back and do verse 1 again with it just being that acoustic kind of feel. And he was right. It needed to kind of come up in energy. And Ryan had done that part, and we kind of had it back, but it carries that.
Oh, it does. It's so cool. This lands us right into pre-chorus 2. Same overall instrumentation and lyrics as pre-chorus 1, but the stereo guitars are playing the arpeggiated lick, and it's bigger and louder here, as well as the whole overall intensity of the band. We get the harmonies on the yeah-yeahs both times. We get that rake again, Ken, in between You've Had Enough of All You're Trying. This time it's a little bit longer of a rake, and it's not as loud as pre-chorus 1.
Well, here's the thing. He could have moved that around. I play acoustic guitar, and I'm like I'm an inadequate guitar player, and so it's never going to be the same thing twice with me. And so things move around a little bit. He liked the idea that it was a little bit different and filled the space a little bit differently. You know, he could have nudged that. You know what I mean?
You don't need it there as a feature because it's more sparse in verse when it really sticks out there. I love the thinking behind that, Ken. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I hope you've heard every word I've said. Yeah. You've had enough of all you're trying. Just give up. State of mind you're in. If you want.
On the last 2 lines, the drums are a little busier here and played with more umph than pre-chorus 1. And I want to give a nod to your drummer, Mark. I told you earlier, drummers have a hard time with restraint. They either are just super simple or they show off, right? And then you get these guys right in the middle and they play to the song. And
that's right.
The drums just keep doing this. They keep taking a little step, but it's nothing you can really pick out. I kept saying to myself, why does this feel so different in the second? He's not doing anything super crazy. It's just where he's putting the accent now, where this is happening.
He's really good about that particular thing. Like, hey man, don't have me play this here, or I don't want to play this here because I have to have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to, like you were saying, whip it out a little bit later, and it's not going to be as effective. I don't want to come out like that. And so he really does. a good job of working around the vocal. Stan Lynch was the best ever at that with Betty.
Yes.
He was so good at like his accents around, like usually you see like bass players and drummers working together. Like Stan, it was all about how do I frame the vocal. And Mark has done a better job of like building songs intensity wise, staying out of the way of the vocal. He comes from a different school than drummer. I grew up with these big rock drummers that just, like you said, wanted to play loud and fast, hard all the time.
Yep.
I met him through Tom Hurst. You know Tom Hurst.
Yeah.
Sure, and Tom and him are both, they have a jazz background, they have rock background. They had to learn all kinds of different stuff. And so Mark has a lot of different things that he can do. He's much quieter than the rest of us. He's more reserved, but he's very analytical. Like he's very like, hey man, I'm thinking about this. I'm always like, how does that make me feel?
Yeah.
He's like, we already did this. I don't want to do this again. Let's see how we can change this. How do we make 1 + 1 = 3? Like his brain is just different with that.
That's so important. I always say that. My listeners hear it all the time on here. How does it make me feel?
How does it make me feel? That's our job. Like Mark is the most analytical. Jed, our bass player, is actually probably the most creative. Andrew's like the most practical. Like he wants the straightest line between me and you. Ryan's the most musical. And all I care about is how does it make me feel? How does that, I don't care if it's a mistake. If I'm like listen to Rumors or listen to something, you're like, that's a mistake, but it's perfect.
I know. Those Queen records, man. There's
the
mistakes.
Queen records. Like we just did a night on the boat where it was Prince versus Queen. And so I got to hear all these versions of Queen. And I'm like, what if I walked into the band and went, hey guys, I have a song called We Are the Champions. They would look at me and go, get out of here, man. No, wait. Of the world. They'd be like, get out. They'd be like, get out. But Freddie walks in and it's like, he owned it, right?
I know. And again, talk about a simple lyric. That's one of the most famous of all times.
Exactly.
Chorus 2, same overall instrumentation, but the stereo guitars are bigger here. These stereo guitars are kind of gnarly, Ken. They're not a pretty radio rock sound. They got a little hair on them.
They got a lot of edge. They got kind of like what Butch Walker might do.
Yeah.
Right through there. We told Tom Lord Alge that in the mix that we wanted those rock guitars to feel like rock guitars so that we had that contrast. And I think the EQ on those guitars is sick, man.
It is perfect.
They bite, but they don't sound like an overdrawn distortion pedal or something.
I don't know what they sound like. It's probably one of the most unique distortion sounds I've heard on a record. I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it has a lot to do with what you said with the way Tom EQ stuff. But the guitars are bigger here. The drums, again, a nod to Mark. The drums are a hair more urgent in chorus 2 than chorus 1. And the B3 is way louder here. I love that.
I love it too, because I grew up, like you said, with the Ben Montenches and the Greg Allmans, and love that B3 sound. And this song isn't like a typical song that you would have. It's not like a Southern rock kind of Leslie Cabinet kind of thing. But dude, it works so well to fill out that bottom.
I love it, and I love that it was there in chorus 1, but here it's just growling at you.
If you wanna be somebody else, if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself, if you wanna be somebody else, change your mind. Change your mind.
The last two lines here, that guitar melody lick comes in again to take us into the reintro, which is an 8-bar reintro of those ooh ooh yeahs. Drums, bass, stereo guitars, acoustic guitar, organ, and a new lead guitar part in the form of a really processed, almost like tube screamer flanger.
It was a tube screamer, yeah.
Was it? Was it a screamer?
I think it was a tube screamer. I'm not sure if you had a flange or a chorus going, but yeah, it was an old tube screamer.
That sound right there, is the only thing that makes this sound, if I'm going to call it dated, that sound was very popular. You heard it, everything from 9 Inch Nails to Motley Crue records from 95 to 2000.
Absolutely.
And it was a very strange, and I'm assuming a tube screamer. You said that's what it sounds like to me. It's so cool.
It was. Ryan is just, I mean, dude, I could practice 24 hours a day and never be as good a guitar player as he is. But it's not just that. It's that you could hand me the same guitar and the same rig, and I could play the riff. It's not the Arrow, man. It's the Indian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can just make things sound a certain way that I couldn't do. Get it to bite a certain way, get it to ring out a certain way. He just hears things differently. And he's really good at, he can shred. But like you just said about drummers, he'll also play like a 2-note, like loopy kind of drone thing in the background, if that's what it calls for. And he's totally happy to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky to have that around.
Yeah.
Me.
And I knew guys, I know you grew up with guys. It's like they had one speed, Yngwie Malmsteen or nothing.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all Yngwie. My little brother.
You know, like if I can't play fast, I don't want to be in this band. And you have to know
what's the point. Yeah. Seriously. You get that. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever talked about this straightforward, but the bridge coming up. You want to talk about a bridge that almost feels like it could be from another song. Total departure here, where you go with this. But it's great. It's great what it does when we come back to the pre-chorus. Hey, what you say? We both go and seize the day. 'Cause what's your hurry? What's your hurry anyway? What are you saying there?
Take it in, man. It's the life that we were just talking about. We feel like we got to be going, or we're not achieving. Someone's going to pass us, whatever. And it's about the moments when we're hanging out. It's about slow down. Mm-hmm. What is your hurry anyway? What's the point if you're not enjoying it and you're not enjoying each other? And it was really, that was a one-on-one conversation. If you kind of listen to the lyrics, it was like, we both go, just come on, you and me.
Okay.
Go hang out.
Well, this bridge, man, on the vocal, again, a nod to Tom Lord Alge. There's like very slight distortion on your vocal here.
Yeah, I call it the McDonald's drive-through. It sounds like it's coming through a drive-through speaker.
Hi, may I take your fries with that?
Exactly. That was kind of there was a little bit of that flavor going on in those mid-90s.
Yeah, but you could certainly overdo it, and it was done tasteful.
But we did have to have him dial it back. We did not want it to be gimmicky. We just want it to be like different.
No, but that's why I like this bridge and why it's a complete departure. And it also threw me off because this bridge is 12 bars, but I was counting it as 13 bars because we get a fake out before the chorus. And which is so awesome. So the first 4 bars sounds like a volume trick here with the stereo guitars taking on an almost violin sound. Remember when Steve Vai would do that? Like he'd be playing, but the volume up and down, or like a lot of those guys. Is that what Ryan's doing here?
I think he was doing some of that. And I think that
obviously it's running through some pedal or processor.
Or pedal. He might have been doing it with a pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of what Eddie and some of those guys would do with Vito from White Lion would do those tricks. And
Ryan, like me, is a huge Van Halen fan. And so he learned so much of that stuff, but that volume, that he wasn't doing it here on the guitar, but he will kind of do it with that, with his, he's got his volume pedal down there and kind of have it that'll sing. Yeah.
It's so good. The vocals come in on bar 5 here, as does a super high synth. And the last bar here, this is what was confusing me, Ken. The last bar are those stereo guitars continuing with that killer riff. The synth is in there, and we get a slight feedback off to the right and a backwards cymbal, that takes us into pre-chorus 3, which is, again, the same overall instrumentation, but the high synth is here, and the organ is louder too.
I hope you heard every word I've said. Had enough of all you're trying. Just give up the state of mind you're in. If you wanna be
When we come back into the pre-chorus, you get those yeahs. They're pretty subtle. We get that rake again here, but this rake doesn't make me feel like the other two rakes. It's interesting. Usually a song, like the first rake's quiet, the second one builds, and the third one, it's like a feature. Not here. By this point, like, that rake was really special to me for that first time.
Yes. And what it allowed us to do is, instead of focusing on the rake, the sound gets kind of sucked out right there.
Yeah.
But then when it hits, because if you want, and then it slams on that, it really allows it to feel like the kitchen sink is going now.
Ken, I gotta ask you, and this is why I never wanted to be a producer, because I would have drove myself nuts. But at the end of pre-chorus 3 here, we get a 4-bar holdout with the full band. It's like a stop for 1 bar, and the whole band is ringing out before dropping in to chorus 3, and we get "If You" by itself before the band hits on "Wanna Be Somebody Else." Did you ever think about making this an a cappella?
Yeah, of course we did. Of course we did.
Man.
I was like that, and then the band said we can't, because we can't have had an a cappella chorus in All For You and then have our first single on the next record.
I knew it.
An a cappella. Yeah, because what happens, and this is, you will identify with this. There's no rules when you're making your first couple records.
No.
You're making indie records, but then you get fans and filters and radio and record companies, and then you're running everything you do through this filter of, oh, can we do that? Can we not do that? There's no, when you're making your own records at home and in Mirror Image and then, wherever else.
Did you ever hear that side by side of How You Remind Me, I think, and their other song Someday by Nickelback?
Yeah.
They started them and it's the same tempo. It goes to the chorus at the same time. So yeah, that's something that we think about as listeners, but my God, it would feel good to go a cappella there.
Oh, it would, man. I was ready. It's like you talk about the drummer. That's how we whip it out. That's how singers whip it out.
I love it, because every time I've heard that from the time, and I'm sitting here, and as it comes out, I'm like, they're gonna go a cappella, and you don't.
But we couldn't. In fact, it's funny how we were overthinking stuff so much at that time that there was another song I wrote, and it did make the record. It made like a bonus track later because it had a delay guitar, like Change Your Mind. And the guys were like,
can't do it.
It's too much. And I'm like, have you ever heard U2? Or it's like, you mean they're two totally different songs? But they were like, no. And so we got into that mode of that. It's stressful, man.
Yeah.
It's stressful because everybody has an opinion. And, you go from sharing van space to who stands where in the picture. And it's like, what stressful time period that is.
Yeah. It's definitely. I'm right there with you. I think back, and I don't know if I could have done it differently when all those firsts were happening. We were so wrapped up. But chorus 3, same overall instrumentation, but everything, and let's give another nod to Tom Lord Alge. Everything's a little bit bigger here. The organ pads are super loud, and the chorus harmonies they sound the fullest they've been all song. I think the high synth is back there buried too.
If you wanna be somebody else, if you're tired of losing battles with yourself, if you wanna be somebody else, change your mind. Change your mind. Change your mind. Change your mind.
The Change Your Minds happen 4 times here, and that lead guitar with the tube screamer sound comes back in, and then we get this post-chorus of these ooh yeah with a get out of your mind. Ooh yeah, again, get out of your mind. Ooh yeah, just lose your mind, and then we get the ooh yeah at the very end. Those call and responses, get out of your mind, they're panned left only. They're a filtered vocal, and it's another
McDonald's drive-through.
It's another cool texture. Well, it's more pronounced than what happens in the bridge.
It is more.
It is.
Definitely.
And then the very last the band stops. The is by itself as the band decays underneath it. The last thing we hear is an organ center and a little bit of feedback from the guitar.
Yep.
Panned off left.
Left that in.
What'd you think of the song when you heard it back from Tom, the mix? You had to be floored.
Dude, I loved it because I loved his mixes. He listened to what we had to say. I think there was like one thing he had to convince us of. I can't remember exactly what it was. But when I put that song in, even we were going through old tapes the other day, and I put that song and I went, that song sonically sounds timeless. I mean, you could play it today and it would hold up with any mix that I hear there. So I was really happy with the way it came out. I was really relieved that we had another song that I could go to a program director or somebody and go, here, listen to this. You can play this. You can do this, or we have another motor.
I rarely ask this of artists because it puts them on the spot. I'm going to ask you, or has anybody, a country singer of now, has anybody wanted to cover this song? I think this song's a massive hit, Ken.
I appreciate that. I've had country artists cover Champagne High.
Yeah.
And One Love. But this one they never have. I'm friends with some of those guys now, and the anniversary's coming around. And so I might talk to some of those big country guys and go,
I don't know. I think this song has more life. But Ken, always a pleasure talking to you. Before we break, I know you guys just got done with the rock boat. What's coming up with you this summer?
Dude, we stay at it. We got our Lyrics for Life cancer show coming up here in Gainesville. We got John Resnick from Goo Goo Dolls is coming down to play with us, which I think is going to be fun because we're going to do some singer-songwriter stuff, and then we're going to play we're going to back him as his band.
That's awesome.
I think it's fun. This summer we're playing all year, really. We're doing a European cruise where it's not the rock boat, but we do 200 people, and we take a riverboat, and we spend 8 days looking at castles and learning history and hanging out with about 200 fans. It's really, I love that.
That's great.
We get to do this. We get to talk about, hey, man, what was going on there? How's your family or whatever? I like that, man. It has to be about more than a song. It's got to be about a community and a relationship or relationships. And I embrace that side of things.
Yeah.
But we're still, man, look, and I bet you feel this way too. I'm just so grateful that people still seem to care. They still want to hear the music. They still want us to play. Even as my voice has kind of dipped and it's coming back up, like they would say, man, you're more than your voice. It's about this relationship that we have. And I could hear that here. I couldn't get it here as we're talking about.
I know.
But and we're our own worst critic, right?
Yep.
I could hit a note and it was the note, but I didn't hit it right. Like, it didn't feel right. I wasn't supported right. And it didn't feel like, I don't know, dancing sounds a little light, but it's like, you have those nights when you don't have to think about anything.
I know.
It just falls out. Everything just falls out, man. We're not as young as we once were, but man, I have a tremendous amount of gratitude that people still seem to care. So we'll probably do about 100 shows this year.
Good for you.
And that's a lot of shows, man.
It is. And we're not getting any younger, like you said, Ken.
No, because I'm having to do stuff like I go out like a day early now. Like I'll go out the day before instead of like get up and go to Gainesville Airport at 4 a.m. and then sing, especially if it's West Coast.
I don't do that. I do the same thing now, man. I give myself a day. Remember, we used to get up we'd get up at 4:30 in the morning, take the red eye out, and play same day.
Yes, yeah, and then sing that night, and then where you go from here to like we just played the Whiskey, which I had never played.
Oh, cool.
We played it this year, and it was like we went on at 10. we got out there, and I was like, that's 1 o'clock to me, man.
I know.
You know, not only am I getting older, but
Brutal.
our fans are getting older. Yeah, so it was brutal. But I'm just grateful that people still seem to care.
You know when I knew my band was getting old, Ken? When the fans started complaining we were going on too late.
Exactly, man. They're like, how about no opener? Like, let's have an evening with.
Dude, I only got a babysitter till 11. Come on, guys.
Exactly. And I'm like, I get it. It used to be, if it's too loud, you're too old. If it's too late, you're too old. Do you remember, in Gainesville, nobody did anything before midnight. It was 11:30, 12 before people even left their apartments.
Go on at 1 in the morning. It was normal.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time today, Ken. I appreciate it.
I love talking to you, Chris. I'm always proud to be your friend.
Yeah,
and
you too.
Congrats on the podcast. Tell all the guys I said, hey.
Well, I won't be your winter, and I won't be anyone's excuse to cry, and we can be forgiven, oh yeah, and I will be here, yeah.
Well, Ken Block is truly the best, and I can't wait to talk to Chris about this episode in the rap segment that's coming right up. We also got the band you might not know coming up right after a few words from our sponsors, so don't go anywhere.
Hey friends, Chris DeMakes here. If you love Chris DeMakes a podcast and you'd like to help us continue bringing you great episodes each week, please take a minute to check out ChrisDeMakes.com. That's where you'll find our Patreon. Our Patreon supporters get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus episode that people have raved to us about for years. You can also get ad-free, early releases of each week's episode of Chris DeMakes a podcast, as well as unedited video versions of the show. Even if you're not sure if you want to sign up, you can go to ChrisDeMakes.com and sign up for a free account. We'll throw you a free preview episode here and there. We can't thank you enough for all the support. And if you have a few extra bucks and you want to help us keep the lights on, our Patreon is the way to do it. Head to ChrisDeMakes.com to learn more.
You tell yourself, no one wants your college-era band tees. But on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual-bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are... Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream Team. New habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working it.
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG.
With Sam's Club, you have the freedom to shop your own way. Curbside pickup, delivered to your doorstep, come in and grab it yourself. Yes, yes, yes. They've got plenty of options. Your call. Say yes to shopping the way you want. Join now at samsclub.com/yes and. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a membership, and membership is subject to qualifications. Visit samsclub.com/yes and for details.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Everyone knows that unexplainable it factor, that smile that lights up a room, that wow. Well, it doesn't happen by itself. There's chemistry behind the charisma. Colgate Optic White Pro Series toothpaste removes 15 years of deep-set stains when you brush twice daily for 2 weeks. How? The clinically proven formula is powered by Colgate's hydrogen peroxide complex. It works at the molecular level to gently dissolve stains deep within the enamel where your brush can't reach. It's proof that daily routine can be remarkable. That's the science of wow. Colgate Optic White.
As we near the end of the show, here's a band you might not know.
Welcome to this week's Band You Might Not Know. If you'd like your band to be considered for Chris DeMakes a Podcast, email your best song via MP3 only and a short bio to bandyoumighttnotknow@gmail.com. This week's featured artist is Oida King, a pop-punk trio from Vienna, Austria, who's mixing pop-punk and hip-hop that's so contagious, even the grumps jump. Their latest album, Bottle Stops at You, is ready to push you to your next work promotion, personal deadlift record, or a 100% on your final exam. I'll let all of you be the judge of that. Here's a snippet of their song, I Think I Want to Know You Better.
The Wrap with Chris and Chris.
So, Chris, as soon as you finished this episode, I said to you, Ken Block, what a guy. You can tell that he's still so psyched about this song, which is so awesome to hear. I talked to him a little bit about this when you were done, but we did a One Hit Thunder episode in like the past year about All For You. And in doing that episode, I became a hazelnut beyond All For You, because not only like this song is awesome, the song you're talking about today is awesome, and they're just like a great band. They did have this one hit that like all the normies know, but they've been able to maintain like an amazing career for all these years, on top of that, and on top of the fact that they're an awesome band. If you look into what they do a lot of great stuff for the world. They run this Lyrics for Life organization that benefits pediatric cancer. It's just, there's a lot to love about Sister Hazel.
Yeah, Ken's went down to Honduras and helped out down there with different causes, and just great people, and kind of the embodiment of Gainesville, Florida. And something I want to mention, Chris, that I didn't, there was so many things in this song, and Ken and I alone with the Gainesville history, just that alone, we could talk for an hour. But something I did mention in chorus 3 that I love. This is one of those subtle things in songwriting that means so much, okay? This shows you the importance of words. In every chorus of the tune, he sings, if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself. But chorus 3, he says, if you're tired of losing battles with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, and that's the realization of I can't win this. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm losing. And I wanted to bring that up. It's something I just didn't get to because, as I said, Ken and I could talk for hours.
Dude, you just telling me that, I'm not kidding about this. You telling me that subtle lyric change, I got chills when you told me that. That is so cool. Such a moment.
It is. And, he gave a tip of the hat to Tom Lord Alge, which, these guys got paid for a reason. They were able to get into songs and look at them differently than you as the artist. Because Ken said it. We've said it so many times on the show, Chris. Like, we're married to it. We're so close to it, you know, and to have another perspective, that harmony that is 4 words, it's stereo, left and right, and then it just goes for the rest of the harmony only left. He's like, that's a Lord Alge thing. It's just so bizarre. And the other thing I was really impressed about was almost every nuance and thing in the song, the guitar rake, all this stuff, Ken knew about it and had an answer for. You know, a lot of times this is recorded 26 years ago. Guys like, I have no idea, you know?
That's what I'm saying. You can tell he's passionate about music and songwriting, and it just comes through when he's talking about it. Yeah, I love this guy. I can't say enough good things about Ken Block. He is so cool. And yeah, I made a note of the Tom Lord Alge thing. You hire someone like Tom Lord Alge because he can recognize those moments in a song, that rake, and know that it is a moment, and he has to bring that out to the listener.
Yeah, and you know, in terms of an alternative rock song of what Sister Hazel did, these guitars are pretty mean in the choruses. They got a tonality to them. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's got a little ZZ Top thing to it. I don't know. And you know, that Southern rock thing that we talked about last time Ken was here, All For You and On This. You know, and you grew up in Florida. That was embedded in FM radio during that time. You heard these harmonies, and you'll hear them in Less Than Jake songs. You know, they might not stick out like a Sister Hazel song, but they're there. And, you know, when Ken says the way he sings better in the verses, you can't fake that. That's kind of his drawl. It's a North Florida thing.
It adds to the authenticity of the music. He's not putting on this thing. He's a Florida guy who sounds like a Florida guy. That's his real voice. That's his real affectation. And it just adds to the charm of the song. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know, and go listen to this band. Go see them live, or you know, go pull up a video. They got the goods, man. I remember these guys. Ken and Andrew were an acoustic duo. The girls loved them. They played all the campus parties. They were huge, and they put this band together. But you want to talk about 5 guys that can go anywhere on a Friday night or Tuesday night and plug in and play? They can. I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. You talked about how you could take a Sister Hazel song and you could just play one guy on acoustic guitar and the song is still there. The song is still strong. He even referenced, as a songwriter, he referenced that Sean Mullins Lullaby song, which I like that song. At the same time I like that song, I also think it's kind of funny that it's like this spoken word sort of thing. But he talked about how Sean Mullins is able to get the listener's attention without screaming at me. And with that as an inspiration for this song, I just thought that was such a cool thought, that you get people's attention not by screaming at them, but by bringing them in. And then when you get to the chorus, the song explodes. That's just, you know, it's songwriting 101. It's the quiet, loud thing, but I just thought that was a cool inspiration.
You know, pound for pound, I mean, not that it's a competition. I like this song better than All For You. I think this should have been shoulda, coulda, woulda been a bigger hit, but we don't dictate that. The fans do. The universe dictates that. Ken and I talked about that. You know, we write the song and throw out there in the universe, and whatever happens after that, it's so out of our control. But as a younger musician, you think it's in your control, and it's not.
No, and I loved when he talked about, you brought it up, but yeah, of course, I knew that there were going to be fans of theirs that this song changed their lives in some ways, whether it's a small way or a big way. And that lyric, you can grab that lyric, change your mind, and apply it to anything. You brought up all the different things, whether it's losing somebody, it's any kind of life situation that you go through, that lyric can resonate with you. And I just think that's so cool that he talked about letters and emails and people telling them stories of that changing people's lives. And you've experienced that. You've had people tell you that. My band has had people tell us that. And there is nothing more rewarding. I know I sound like I'm being a cliche here, but I'm not. Like, that is the most rewarding thing about writing a song and putting it into the world.
Absolutely. That feeling you get back when someone tells you that is absolutely priceless. And before we get to one of your reviews that you leave us each week on the podcast that we like to read, before we get to that, head over to ChrisDeMakes.com. That's where our Patreon's at. And you can help us keep the lights on here at Chris DeMakes a Podcast. That's ChrisDeMakes.com. Go check it out. And what do you got for us this week, Chris?
Chris, just like when someone says that about your song, it's also nice to hear it about your podcast. And I do have a 5-star review this week. This one comes from J.R. Robadoo. I think it's Jack. He's in our Facebook group and maybe a Patreon member, I think, too. But I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Robadoo? D-O-U-X? When it's D-O-U-X at the end of the name.
It'd be Robadoo.
Robadoo, okay.
Robadoo.
Robadoo gave us 5 stars and said hits and wrote, "There are so many songs I hadn't heard of from artists I already enjoyed. The YMCA down the street from the clinic, Drag My Body, just a few examples. And the fact that John Oates was brought on to talk about Hall & Oates, my favorite band, 5 stars across the board. Keep the hits coming."
Nice.
We can do that.
No B-sides, Chris. It's got to be all hits.
All
from here
hits.
On out.
We never a dud episode.
Chris DeMakes a Podcast. All hits, all the time.
That's right. That's the idea anyway.
Well, we're a hit because of you listening out there. Thanks for checking us out. And I want to thank this week's guest for sitting in with us, Ken Block. And we'll see you next week.
Do you like music, learning about good music, and laughing at bad music? Well, I have the show for you. I'm Chris DeMakes a Podcast producer Chris Fafalius, and my One Hit Thunder co-host Matt Kelly and I are 300-plus episodes deep into revisiting one-hit wonders to decide if they deserve a second listen or should stay safely buried in your memory. We give every artist a fair shot, roast them when necessary, and when a band or artist is actually really good, we officially certify them Thunder, and maybe someday we'll even get around to sending out those notarized certificates. Basically, it's an incredibly fun music podcast, so smash that subscribe button on One Hit Thunder wherever you get your pods.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Selling your car should feel like one less thing on your list, not one more. With Carvana, it is. Just go to Carvana.com, enter your license plate or VIN, and get a real offer down to the penny. No back and forth, no surprises, just an experience you can trust. Like your offer? Accept it. Schedule pickup, and we'll come to you with a check in hand. Your car, your timeline, your terms. Visit Carvana.com to sell your car today.
Carvana.
Delivery fees and terms may apply.